Hello everyone, and welcome to your second You Pick Tuesday video of the week. You should do one with Phil Heath versus Shawn Ray. Very interesting. Now I have done comparisons with these two before, and I selected 2008 for Phil Heath, and I decided to go with the best pitchers possible for Shawn Ray. So here in the front relaxed, I believe this is a 1994, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, all of the other pitchers, I think there's maybe three different versions of Shawn Ray. Maybe four. Three or four different versions. But anyway, I took a little bit longer to do the video because of that. But I think at the end of the day, you guys would rather have a better video if you have to wait till Women Only Wednesday to get to see it, But don't worry, there will be a Women Only Wednesday comparison request. Anyway, front double bicep. Oh my goodness, Shawn Ray does not compare very well at all against this 2008 Phil Heath. Oh, a little too smooth. Gorilla, I'm telling you right now. That's a little too smooth, Monsoon. A lot too smooth. Shawn Ray, he looks good by himself, but standing next to Phil Heath, Phil obviously in much better condition, and obviously this is a joke. Go to the real comparison, and wow. I could have easily put an off-season Phil Heath, and he would have looked probably worse than Shawn Ray did. My Soul, 1997, probably his best version, Shawn Ray, when it came to, say, the front, maybe the side, arguable. Not from the rear. I think he was not in the condition that he was in maybe 94 or 96. Hard to say. But from the front here, Shawn Ray. But then again, guys, this is impossible to say one guy's winning for sure. Aesthetically, lines, vacuum pose, the stance, Shawn Ray is much better. He's even holding his arms up a little bit nicer. Phil Heath, he hadn't really perfected his posing by this point yet, I don't think. Pretty good, though, mind you. But muscle for muscle, Shawn's really being bullied. And you can see that. Arms, forearms, biceps, triceps, muscle separation, wheels. So it's a hard one. Go to the front lat spread. Same thing here. Shawn Ray, I much prefer his posing, his stance. He opens up. So good. And you compare any Shawn Ray version. I'll run 1994 against this one, 96, his most notable versions, but nowhere near couldn't hold a candle to this front lat spread, or probably the front double as well. But then, much like the front double, also, Phil Heath just packed with muscle. Look at the size of the guy. Even his lats are very thick and three-dimensional. Not opened up as much as Shawn Ray, though. You'll find both of these dudes pretty narrow clavicle, and, that can hurt you in a shot like this. Really can. So, this is a hard one to judge. Go to the side chest development. Boom. As Superset Man says, boom. You can see I made them around the same height here. Shawn Ray stands up nice and tall. Phil bends at the knees. Got to admit, guys, you'd have to make them, probably. I think this would be how they would be sized. I think Phil would actually be twice the size of Shawn Ray in terms of thickness. Look at the arms. Look at the wheels. Shawn Ray doesn't really stand a chance. But, aesthetically speaking, Shawn Ray, here in 1995, this is a 95 Shawn Ray. The first non-97 Shawn. And trust me, this side chest is awesome compared to any other version of Shawn Ray. But is it enough to beat the split-pecked, muscle-bound Phil Heath? I don't know. Go to the side tricep. Now, Phil, this is one where Phil also looks good. He's huge. He's beating Shawn Ray in the muscle, the tricep itself, chest, abs. Of course, Shawn Ray's always going to be winning. But, muscle, aesthetics, Phil Heath has it all in the side tricep. This is also a 95, if I'm not mistaken. Shawn Ray, I think he was wearing a wig here. Pretty sure he was wigging out. He's known for that. I believe Dexter Jackson told us that little tidbit. '95, good from the side. '97, good from the front. Now, let's go to the back shots. We're beginning with the 1996 Shawn Ray. And judging from the video footage, this was a really good rear lat spread. Actually kind of standing up to Phil Heath. Smaller, less separation in the muscles, so yeah, not a win. But I mean, he's doing good for himself. Unclear picture though. Let's have a 97, just to show you guys that 97, you can see a little layer of water on the glutes, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. There is an outstanding picture from 94. There was no good pictures of a rear lat spread from 94. So that's why I kind of went with the 96. And 97, it's the back, it's good. It's good. Good, thick lower lat insertions for Shawn. Surprised, actually. But Phil Heath taking it. Go to the rear double. And you could see that, the layer of water from Shawn Ray. You can see his glutes much tighter here in 94. So it's too bad we didn't get a rear lat spread from 94. But like I said, there was one black and white picture, very unclear. And, this is basically the same story. Phil Heath, lat insertions up the yin-yang. Shawn Ray looks darn good too, guys, you have to admit. But is he beating Phil Heath? No, not even close. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying he looks good. He looks comparable. Anyway, what am I arguing with myself? Let's have a look at a nice little shot of the Christmas trees proper. That's pretty good. Shawn Ray looks pretty good here. I was looking at Shawn Ray when I was saying that. Condition, glutes, hamstrings. He looks every bit as conditioned as Phil Heath. Maybe not so much in the other shots, but here he does. And this is 94, keep in mind. So I think 94 probably, if all Shawn Ray's versions stood side by side, probably would win. Because, let's face it, it would be pretty close in all of the shots, but they'd have to give it to the most conditioned guy from the rear, and I think 94. 96 was good too, but I think 94 might take the cake. Anyway, turn these specimens back around for the abs and thigh, and I would give this one to Shawn Ray. Front double, front lat, we're close in terms of, my overall decision. Obviously, it was not close when it come to muscle. Phil was winning. And then it wasn't close when it came to aesthetics. Shawn was winning. So you got to kind of add it all up. And a pose like this, Shawn's abs, they're the centerpiece in the abs and thigh. It's the time for the abs to shine. You got to kind of put your main focus on that, on the midsection. Quad as well. And this angle of Shawn's quads, kind of ripping him off, to be honest. So he had some good quads, but still, I'm leaning towards Shawn. Finished this one off, and this was, I have to say, a very good idea. Phil versus Shawn. But I think it would have been a little unfair to do a best of Phil Heath versus a best of Shawn Ray. I figured, to be honest, guys, Phil's, he's in another league than Shawn Ray. Boom, Shawn hits another one here. You heard me saying that, so I like this one, hands on hip. And 97 again. Look at 97 Shawn Ray from the front. Wow. But like I was saying, Phil's in another league. So I figured using earlier on Phil and use the best of Shawn might make it a little bit closer. Hit the most muscular crab position. Shawn looks pretty good in this. He might even be able to get a victory in a couple of these shots. But I think the size is just too overwhelming. Even if your conditioning is a little bit tighter, which it does appear here, at least in this pose. But compare the arms, guys. Compare the biceps. Look at that. Phil's huge. And like I was saying earlier, clavicle width, as far as his structure is concerned, if Shawn Ray was just as tall, I think his clavicle would be wider. But he's a smaller man, so, But chest for chest, I like Shawn. But the matchup, I like Phil. Phil is your winner. Phil Heath, The Gift, The Doctor, 2008. Incredible version. I love 2008 for Phil Heath. One of my favorite, actually, to tell you the truth. Hit thumbs up on the video. That's your You Pick Tuesday. One day late. Sometimes when I go for the... I actually had a 1994, all 94 set up. And I figured it might make it a little bit more interesting to do a best of Shawn Ray. Why not? Have a great day, guys.